The screen opens on Buckingham Palace's drizzly courtyard, a glistening tableau of history under a heavy, grey sky. The cream-colored stone walls slick with rain, their ancient grandeur undimmed by the weather. A black motorcade glides smoothly through the wrought iron gates, its tires hissing on the wet cobblestones, drawing the eyes of tourists huddled under umbrellas, their cameras flashing through the mist, capturing the flutter of royal standards, sodden but proud, against the somber clouds. The air is thick with the scent of damp stone, the faint tang of coffee from a vendor's cart, and the soft patter of rain on coats and hoods, while cathedral bells toll faintly in the distance, their notes a solemn undercurrent to the courtyard's quiet energy. In this rain-soaked scene, where tradition meets the pulse of the modern world, senators' demand for a salute from a royal guard will spark a confrontation that silences the entire palace, a moment where ego clashes with discipline, and one man's quiet strength speaks louder than bluster. If you're fascinated by moments where arrogance meets unshakable tradition, hit subscribe to join our community and catch more stories like this every day. As the drizzle falls, one question echoes across the courtyard. What happens when respect is demanded, but duty answers instead? From the lead vehicle of the motorcade, Senator J.D. Vance steps out, adjusting his navy overcoat, the American flag pin on his lapel gleaming despite the gloom, a small but deliberate emblem of his authority. At Carfuntion, Vance is a rising star in Washington, a member of the Armed Services Committee, his sharp features and confident stride projecting a man accustomed to command. His expression, however, is dismissive, his lips curling as he surveys the courtyard, muttering to his aide, a young woman in a tailored suit. This feels like a medieval costume party. Guards in red coats, standing like statues. What's the point? He's part of a bipartisan delegation for high-stakes defense talks with British counterparts. But the ceremony guards in scarlet tunics, their movements choreographed with centuries-old precision, irks him, a relic of formality. In a world he sees as driven by power and pragmatism, the drizzle clings to his overcoat, his dark hair slick with rain, but his irritation burns brighter than the cold, his voice carrying a trace of disdain as he scans the scene, his aide nodding nervously, her tablet clutched tightly. Across the courtyard, Lance Corporal Edward Statham stands motionless at his post, a steadfast sentinel in his scarlet tunic, the heavy fabric damp but immaculate, the towering bearskin hat steady despite the drizzle, its black fur glistening with raindrops. At Virginie, Statham is a combat veteran from Devon, his lean frame honed by 3 deployments in Afghanistan, his blue eyes unreadable behind a mask of disciplined resolve, embodying the centuries of tradition that define the Queen's Guard. A flashback transports us to a dusty valley in Helmand province, where Statham, his uniform streaked with sweat, spots a sniper's glint in the heels, his quick shout saving his patrol from ambush, earning him a military cross and a reputation for calm under pressure. Now, his duty is to stand as a symbol of the Crown's honor, his rifle held at precisely the right angle, his posture rigid under the gaze of tourists and dignitaries, his instincts honed in battle, alert beneath the surface, scanning the courtyard with subtle shifts of focus, ready to respond to any breach in the sanctity of his post. The courtyard is a tapestry of quiet anticipation tourists in raincoats snapping photos, their umbrellas bobbing like a sea of color, a vendor calling out offers of hot tea, his cart steaming in the damp air, an elderly British veteran in a medal-covered blazer standing proudly, his wife at his side, their faces lit with reverence for the guards, a young family, their children clutching miniature Union Jacks, huddle under a shared umbrella, their laughter soft but bright, while a group of American tourists, part of Vance's delegation, whisper among themselves, their accents carrying across the cobblestones. Statham's presence is a focal point, his scarlet tunic vivid against the grey stone, his bearskin hat a beacon of tradition, his silence a testament to the discipline that binds him to the crown. The drizzle intensifies, the rain tapping softly on his uniform, but he remains still, his blue eyes fixed forward, his mind locked into protocol. Dignitary visit, no deviation, no response, no breach of the centuries-old code that defines his role. The conflict ignites as Vance, breaking from the guided tour path, veers towards Statham's post, drawn to the guard's stillness, like a moth to a flame, his navy overcoat flapping in the breeze, his flag pin catching the dim light. His aide trails nervously, her heels clicking on the wet stone, her voice low as she urges him to rejoin the group. But Vance ignores her, his curiosity laced with mockery. Does he ever move? He says loudly, circling Statham, his voice rising above the crowd's murmurs, his tone dripping with condescension. Looks like a museum prop, standing there in that red coat, all for show. Tourists stiffen, their faces shifting from curiosity to discomfort, their cameras lowering as they sense the breach in decorum. The British veteran, his medals glinting under his blazer, mutters to his wife. Disgraceful behavior from a guest. His voice low but sharp, his eyes narrowing at Vance, a young woman in a raincoat, her phone poised to record, whispers to her friend, "Who does he think he is?" Their disapproval, a soft ripple in the crowd. Vance steps closer, breaking protocol by obstructing Statham's gaze, his bulk casting a shadow over the guard, his sneer deepening as he leans in, his voice sharp and provocative. "You ever been in a real fight, corporal? Or is this all you do, play dress-up for tourists?" The words cut through the drizzle. A challenge to Statham's honor, a violation of the sanctity of his post. The crowd's murmurs grow louder, their faces a gallery of shock and indignation. The veteran's wife clutches her husband's arm, her voice trembling. "He's insulting our boys." While a teenage boy, his umbrella tilted, shakes his head, muttering, "That's not cool." Statham remains still, his blue eyes fixed forward, his silence a fortress, his discipline unshaken by Vance's taunts. But the weight of the moment presses on him, his heart stirring with the memory of Helmand, of comrades who fought and died, of the duty that binds him to this post, not for show, but for the crown and its people. The tension escalates as Vance, emboldened by Statham's silence, squares his shoulders, his navy overcoat taut across his frame, his voice booming with authority, as if addressing a subordinate. "I'm J.D. Vance, Senator, Armed Services Committee," he announces, his hand pointing to the flag pin on his lapel. The stars and stripes, a stark contrast to the gray sky. "In the military, we salute rank, and I outrank you. Son, salute me." That's an order. The crowd gasps, the sound sharp and collective, their faces frozen in disbelief. One woman, her umbrella drooping, whispers, "He didn't just say that," her voice carrying across the courtyard, drawing more eyes to the scene. The British veteran's face reddens, his medals clinking as he steps forward, his voice firm. "This isn't your country, Senator," he says, his words a rebuke. His wife nodding beside him, her eyes blazing with pride for the guard. The young family, their children now silent, clutch their flags tighter, the parents exchanging glances of outrage, while the American tourists, part of Vance's delegation, shift uncomfortably. Their faces a mix of embarrassment and unease. Vance leans closer, his hand brushing Statham's rifle stock. A deliberate violation of protocol. His voice dropping to a hiss, his eyes narrowing. "You understand chain of command, don't you, corporal? Or is that hat too tight for your brain?" The crowd's murmurs turn to gasps, their disapproval coalescing into a chorus of whispers. And glares, a teenage girl, her phone recording, shakes her head, muttering, "What a jerk," while an elderly man in a tweed cap, his umbrella steady, calls out, "Leave the lad alone." Statham's silence is deafening, his stillness a rebuke to Vance's arrogance, his discipline a shield against the senator's provocation. But his heart pounds, his training warring with a deeper instinct, a call to defend the honor of his post, his country, and the comrades whose sacrifices he carries in his scars. The drizzle intensifies, the rain tapping on his bearskin hat, but he remains a statue, his blue eyes unyielding, his silence louder than Vance's bluster, a testament to the strength of tradition. The climax erupts as Statham moves deliberately, his gloved hand reaching out with calm, surgical precision, removing Vance's arm from his rifle stock. The motion swift but controlled, a soldier's strength tempered by discipline. The crowd inhales sharply, their faces a gallery of awe and anticipation, their cameras rising to capture the moment. In a firm, polished voice, honed by years of service, Statham speaks, his words cutting through the drizzle like a blade. "Sir, you are in violation of Palace Protocol 2. Bravo. Regarding interference with ceremonial personnel." His status, his tone even but authoritative, his blue eyes locking onto Vance's, his presence. A wall of resolve. The crowd's gasps turn to murmurs of approval, their faces lighting with pride for the god who spoke. Statham continues, his voice unwavering, each word a measured rebuke. Physical encroachment constitutes a security infraction. Return to the visitor's path immediately. Vance blinks, his face paling, his defiance thrown off by the guard's calm authority, his mouth opening, but no words emerging. His flag pin now a hollow symbol against Statham's scarlet tunic. Statham pauses, then adds, his voice steady, his words a quiet but piercing truth. "This isn't America, Senator. Here, we serve the crown, not egos." The courtyard erupts in applause, the sound swelling like a wave. Tourists clapping, their umbrellas bobbing, their faces alight with admiration for the guard who stood his ground. The British veteran raises a fist, his medals glinting, his voice booming. "Well said, La," while his wife claps, her eyes glistening with pride. The young woman with the phone, her video capturing every word, cheers, her voice trembling with awe. That's how you do it. The American tourists, their embarrassment deepening, lower their heads, one muttering, "He had that coming." Their respect for Statham a bridge across borders. Vance steps back, his shoulders slumping, his navy overcoat sodden, his defiance fading under the weight of his humiliation. His aide rushing to his side, her tablet forgotten as she urges him to retreat. The resolution unfolds as Captain Eliza Montgomery, Statham's commanding officer, approaches through the drizzle, her navy uniform crisp, her auburn hair tucked under a peaked cap, her presence a calming force in the charged atmosphere. Her tone is civil but firm, her green eyes meeting Vance's with quiet authority. Guards are sworn to the crown, Senator, not to foreign officials, she says, her voice resonant, her words a defense of tradition. Lance Corporal Statham is a combat-decorated soldier. His discipline protects us all, including you. Vance, his face flushed, nods curtly, his bluster extinguished, and rejoins his delegation without a word, his flag pin dulled by the rain. "Fish trailing. Visained." Her face a mask of relief. The crowd watches, their applause fading into a respectful silence, their faces a tapestry of pride and gratitude for the guard who upheld honor without raising a fist. The British veteran, his medals gleaming, steps forward, his hand rising in a crisp salute to Statham, his eyes glistening with respect, his wife joining him, her umbrella lowered, her nod a silent thank you. An American Marine, Part of the delegation breaks from his group, his dress blues sharp despite the rain, and salutes Stitham, his gesture transcending borders, a soldier's recognition of another's honor, his face somber but proud. The young family, their children now waving their flags, clap softly, the parents whispering lessons of respect to their wide-eyed kids. The elderly man in the tweed cap, his umbrella steady, calls out, "Good show, Corporal," his voice warm with approval. Statham stands unmoved, his scarlet tunic vivid against the grey stone, his bearskin hat steady, his blue eyes fixed forward, his silence a testament to the duty that defines him, his heart steady with the knowledge that he honored the crown by standing firm. The courtyard settles, the drizzle easing, the motorcade idling as the delegation prepares to depart, the tourists resuming their photos, their voices softer now, their respect for the guards deepened by the moment they witnessed. The vendor, his cart steaming, offers free tea to the veteran and his wife, his voice rough but kind. "For our boys," he says, his nod to Stitham a quiet tribute. The young woman with the phone, her video already uploaded, watches it spread online. Her caption reading, "When a senator met a real soldier, the American Marine, back with his group, shares a quiet word with his colleagues. His salute to Stitham. A story he'll carry home." The family, the children now mimicking Stitham's stillness, leave with a new understanding of duty, their flags clutched tightly, their memories of the day. A lesson in honor. Days later, the story of Stitham and Vance becomes a global sensation, shared across news outlets, social media, and whispered conversations. A viral video capturing the guard's calm rebuke, the senator's retreat, the crowd's applause. A symphony of justice. Headlines hail the guard who silenced the senator, framing Stitham's act as a lesson in humility, a reminder that respect is earned, not demanded. News anchors recount the story with reverence, their voices thick with admiration, while online forums buzz with praise for the guard who stood firm, for the tradition that held strong, for the silence that spoke louder than words. The video, shared millions of times, shows Statham's scarlet tunic gleaming in the rain, his hand removing Vance's arm, his words cutting through the drizzle. The crowd's faces a tapestry of awe and pride, a moment that unites viewers in admiration for a soldier who chose duty over deference. At a private ceremony in Buckingham Palace's state dining room, Statham stands before Colonel Sir William Tate, his scarlet tunic gleaming under golden chandeliers, the air rich with the scent of polished mahogany and fresh roses in crystal vases. Tate, his face stern but warm, his grey hair catching the light, pins a commendation to Stitham's chest, the Queen's Guard Medal for exemplary conduct, a rare honor for acts that uphold the Crown's values in the face of provocation. You show the world what our uniform stands for. Lance Corporal. Tate says, his voice resonant, his eyes meeting Stitham's with pride. Your silence was your strength, your words, our shield. The crown is proud. Statham's blue eyes glisten, his thoughts on Helmand, on his Devon roots, on the veteran salute, on the duty that defines him. His salute steady, his heart full, the weight of the medal, a reminder of the moment he stood firm. The aftermath ripples through the lives touched by that drizzly morning. Vance, humbled by the encounter, issues a public apology. His statement brief but sincere, his flag pin absent in subsequent appearances, his lesson in humility. A quiet shift in his public persona. The British veteran, back in his Yorkshire home, shares the story with his local pub, his medals displayed proudly, his voice warm with pride for the guard who defended tradition. The young woman with the phone, now a social media advocate, uses her platform to promote respect for military service. Her video a catalyst for discussions on honor and humility. The vendor, his cart now adorned with a small Union Jack, tells customers of the guard who spoke, his tea sales booming as tourists seek him out, his smile a tribute to Statham's courage. The American Marine, back in Virginia, recounts the story to his unit. His salute to Statham, a lesson in cross-border respect. His dress blues, a reminder of shared values. Statham, unchanged by the attention, returns to his post the following week. The drizzle replaced by a soft spring sun. The courtyard alive with new tourists, their cameras flashing, their voices a familiar hum. His scarlet tunic glows, his bearskin hat steady, his rifle a vow to protect. Its weight a reminder of the duty he carries. The crowd, unaware of the drama, snaps photos, but the vendor, his cart steaming, nods to Statham. His smile a quiet acknowledgement of the hero beneath the uniform. Palace staff, passing by, offer subtle nods, their respect unspoken but profound, their pride in Statham, a shared secret among those who serve the crown. In the barracks, Statham shares the story with younger recruits, his voice steady, his blue eyes bright, urging them to hold fast to discipline, to let silence speak when ego demands noise, to serve with honor, not pride. The palace, with its rain-slicked stones and royal standards, stands as it always has, a witness to countless moments of courage. Its honor upheld by a guard who stood firm when arrogance demanded deference, who spoke when silence was enough, who reminded a senator and the world that respect is earned, not ordered. Statham's thoughts linger on the veteran's salute, on the marine's gesture, on the duty that binds him to the crown, on the lesson that silence can be a weapon, that discipline is a shield, that honor is a choice. The story of that drizzly morning is a parable of respect, a testament to the power of quiet strength, to humble ego, to remind us that duty is not about rank, but about knowing when to stay silent, when to speak, and when to act. Lance Corporal Edward Statham, with his soldier's instincts and disciplined heart, proved that respect isn't about rank. It's about the honor that silence carries, the tradition that endures, the guard who stands unmoved. Respect isn't about rank. It's about knowing when to stay silent. What does honor mean to you? Have you ever faced a moment where you had to stand firm against arrogance, where your silence spoke louder than words, where discipline defined your strength? Share your story in the comments below. Tell us about the choices that shaped your honor, the moments that tested your resolve, the lessons that linger like a guard's steady gaze. If you're inspired by stories like Edward Statham's stories of duty, humility, and the power of silence to silence ego, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. Join our community for more tales that uplift, that challenge, that remind us of the strength within us all every single day.